I'm Dr. Mary Ignagni. I've been with Sacred Heart for 7 years, and I'm an industrial organizational psychologist. I study organizations and how they function for their employees. I was working for a bank, a major investment bank. They were not functioning that well for their employees, and so I wanted to understand why they weren't working that well. And the higher up, the main boss of the department that I worked at was an industrial organizational psychologist, and she talked to me about what it was, and I was like, that is going to answer all of my questions. That's what I want to do. I focus mainly on women and diversity issues surrounding women in organizations. So right now I'm collecting data on how stereotypes of women as leader might be changing with the newer generation, with Generation Z. This is a project that's been kind of in the making for a number of years. It comes out of work that I did with students quite a number of years ago, looking to see if maybe the stereotypes are changing. So when we think of leader, it's not so much as a man and the adjectives that go around with what a man is, assertive, agentic, that type of thing, and looking at leaders now maybe as more social, more communicative, more nurturing, which is more of a female type adjective. I'm a feminist. I have an innate interest in women's issues, and this idea of the adjectives that go along with leadership and being male and how that has hurt women in the workplace who are leaders has always been something that has been of interest to me. So I'm looking to see if maybe the stereotypes are changing. COVID did disrupt this current study. I was supposed to have run it last year, and just with the way that COVID happened, we were unable to get the study up and running with students. But COVID is changing the way our organizations are running. So there's an idea about maybe looking at the impact of COVID and stress and burnout on working women and working mothers in particular. We still have a long way to go to ensure that everybody is being treated equally. I'm working with a student right now who is interested in looking at how employees who gender identify as their opposite sex, who are transgender and maybe going through the transition, how they're looked upon with labels. So that's kind of coming out of the work that I've already done with women and leaders and their stereotypes, and she's taking it into that direction. So it's the whole gambit and making sure that everybody is being treated equally and fairly. It's really fun to work with students on the research projects because they bring in a different perspective. So like I mentioned, that one student reached out to me about working with women and leaders and then is taking it to this whole new direction of the LGBTQ. I might not have thought of that because I have a line of research and I think that way. So for her to bring that in, it's like, oh yeah, that's akin to what I'm doing. It's about gender identity and gender, and there's a huge umbrella under gender. So it's exciting and it's fun.